freeze when talking to a stranger? Today, I'll show you what to say, simply and naturally.
Stay until the end and don't forget to like and subscribe for more real English conversations. Let's go.
Talking to a stranger for the first time? How do I do that without feeling nervous?
That's a great question, and honestly, it's completely normal to feel nervous. But the key is to focus on simple, natural phrases instead of trying to be perfect.
Really? Because I never know how to start a conversation with a stranger.
That's very common, and the easiest way to start is by using simple and natural openers like, "Hi, how's it going?" Or, "Hey, is this seat taken?"
Wait, so I don't need to say something very smart?
Of course not, because trying to sound impressive makes your brain overthink. But simple questions create a natural connection.
Interesting. So what's a good first sentence in real life?
You can start with something around you, like, "This place is really busy today, right?" Or, "Do you come here often?"
Oh, that feels much easier.
Exactly. You're using the situation to start the conversation naturally.
And what if I'm still a little nervous?
That's okay. Just smile and use a simple phrase like, "Hi, I'm Emma. Nice to meet you."
Wow, that sounds friendly and simple.
Sure. And simple is what makes conversations work.
Wow, that explains why I freeze sometimes before speaking.
That moment when you freeze is your brain trying to build a perfect sentence instead of using simple chunks that already exist in your memory.
Interesting. So what should I do instead?
Instead of translating, use simple phrases like, "Hi, how's it going?" Or, "Is this your first time here?"
That was really enlightening. But how can I actually start a conversation without sounding awkward?
Keep it simple and situational, like, "This place is really nice, right?"
Oh, that feels more natural than trying to say something complicated.
Sure. Simplicity creates confidence, and confidence makes your speech sound more natural.
But what if I say something wrong? I feel really anxious talking to strangers.
That's normal. Your brain fears judgment, but most people aren't focused on you.
Really? It feels like they are.
You see, that's your mind exaggerating the situation.
Wow. So how can I deal with this?
Keep your sentences simple, accept the nervousness, and take a deep breath before speaking.
Interesting. And what about mistakes?
They're part of learning, and people care more about your message than your grammar.
So what's the biggest mistake people make when talking to strangers?
The biggest mistake is overthinking and trying to translate every sentence before speaking.
That sounds like me.
You're not alone, but the solution is to train your brain with simple, repeated phrases.
Can you give me examples of these phrases?
You can say, "Hey, how are you?" Or, "Where are you from?" Or, "What do you do?" They're common starters.
Wow, those are really simple.
Exactly, and that's why they work so well.
But sometimes I feel like those questions are too basic.
You see, basic doesn't mean boring, it means effective.
That's a good way to think about it.
And after the first question, you can continue with follow-ups like, "Oh, that's interesting," or, "How do you like it?"
Oh, so the conversation flows naturally.
Sure, conversations are not about big sentences, they're about connection and flow.
So, how can I make friends without being invasive?
You can start casually with something like, "Hey, I think we've seen each other here before." Or, "This place has a nice vibe, doesn't it?"
Interesting. That feels more natural.
Exactly. You're sharing an observation instead of asking something personal.
And what should I say next?
You can continue with light questions like, "What brings you here today?" Or, "Are you here with friends?"
Oh, that doesn't sound intrusive at all.
Yeah, it keeps the conversation comfortable.
But how do I build a connection?
You can react with phrases like, "Oh, nice, that sounds fun," or "That's cool, I've never tried that."
Huh. So it's more about reacting than asking too much.
Exactly. Good conversations are balanced.
And how do I know if I'm not being too much?
You see, if the person smiles, answers fully, or asks you something back, you're doing great.
Wow, that makes it easier.
Just keep it light, friendly, and let things happen naturally.
So, what's the difference between natural and unnatural English?
Great question. Unnatural English usually sounds too formal or too translated.
Can you give me an example?
Instead of, "I would like to initiate a conversation," just say, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?"
Wow, that's a big difference.
Exactly. Natural English is shorter, simpler, and more direct.
So, shorter sentences are better?
Yes, especially in spoken English.
Interesting. I think I try to speak like I'm writing.
That's common. Just use simple phrases like, "Is anyone sitting here?" or "Is this your first time here?"
So, what can I actually say in real situations?
For example, at a cafe, you can say, "Is this seat taken?" Or at an event, "How do you know the host?"
What do you mean exactly by ready phrases in this case?
They're phrases you already know and use instantly, like, "Do you come here often?" or "What do you think of this place?"
Oh, so I don't need to think too much before speaking.
Exactly. You just choose a phrase that matches the situation.
Wow, that makes it much easier.
And the more you use these with strangers, the more natural your conversations will feel.
So, fluency is about repetition.
Yes, repetition and exposure.
Interesting. So, I need to hear and use the same phrases many times.
Exactly. That's how your brain learns naturally.
But sometimes I feel shy talking to strangers.
That's completely normal. And confidence comes from practice, not from waiting.
So, I should just try, even if I feel nervous?
Yes, because action reduces fear.
That makes sense.
And remember, most people are friendly and open to conversation.
Really? Even if my English is not perfect?
Yes, because people appreciate effort.
Wow, that's encouraging.
Exactly. And every conversation is a chance to improve.
So I shouldn't avoid talking to strangers.
Not at all. You should see it as practice.
Interesting. I think I've been avoiding it too much.
And that's what keeps you stuck.
Wow, that's true.
But now you understand how to approach it differently.
Yes, I feel like I have a strategy now.
Sure. And that changes everything.
So let me remember. What's the first thing I should say when I meet someone?
Start simple with something like, "Hi, how are you?" Or, "Hey, is this your first time here?"
That sounds easy.
It is, and that's the point.
I like this approach.
Good, because simple is powerful.
So, how can I respond naturally in daily situations when talking to a stranger? And I think an important part is also knowing how to respond naturally, right?
Of course, you can keep your responses short and friendly, like saying, "Yeah, it's my first time here," or, "Not really, I come here sometimes."
Oh, that sounds very simple.
Exactly, because natural conversations are built with simple and quick responses.
And what if someone asks me where I'm from?
You can say, "I'm from," say your country, "What about you?" to keep the conversation going.
Oh, adding "what about you" helps continue the conversation, right?
Exactly. That's a powerful chunk that keeps interaction flowing.
Interesting. So I should always try to give the conversation back.
Yes. Conversation is like a game of tennis. You receive and you send it back.
I like that comparison.
And it helps you remember to stay engaged.
So what if I don't understand something?
You can say, "Sorry, can you repeat that?" Or, "What do you mean?"
Wow, that's actually very useful.
Yes, because asking for clarification is part of natural communication.
I always feel embarrassed when I don't understand.
That's normal. But even native speakers ask for clarification sometimes.
Really?
Yes, communication is not perfect for anyone.
That makes me feel more confident.
Exactly. Confidence grows when you accept imperfection.
So, how can I sound more natural when I respond?
You can use reactions like, "Oh, really? That's nice." Or, "Wow, that's interesting."
Oh, those reactions make the conversation more alive.
Sure, they show emotion and engagement.
And what about work situations?
In work situations, you can still be simple but slightly more polite, like, "Nice to meet you," or "What do you do?"
So, I don't need to be extremely formal?
Not really, because modern English is more relaxed, even in professional contexts.
Interesting. I always thought I needed very formal English at work.
That's a common misconception.
So, what would be an unnatural, formal sentence?
For example, instead of saying, "I would like to inquire about your occupation," you can say, "What do you do?"
That sounds much easier.
Exactly. Natural English is efficient.
So, being natural is better than being formal?
Yes, especially in spoken communication.
Wow, I feel like I've been making things harder than they need to be.
That's a big realization.
Yeah, I think I was trying to be perfect instead of natural.
And now you see the difference, right?
Sure, that feels really good.
And this is where your confidence starts growing faster.
So, what should I do every day to improve?
Practice speaking out loud with simple phrases and notice people's context.
Even if I'm alone?
Yes, because you can imagine real situations and different types of people, especially from other countries and cultures.
Interesting. I usually just think in English, but I don't speak.
That's the problem, because thinking is not the same as speaking, and real conversations depend a lot on shared context.
Wow, that explains why sometimes conversations don't connect.
Exactly, because what you live, watch, and experience in your country can be very different from someone else's reality.
So I need to understand their world too?
Yes, especially when talking to someone from another country, because not all topics will match naturally.
Interesting. That makes a lot of sense.
And even though it's not a rule, being aware of this makes your conversation feel much more natural.
So what should I focus on when I meet someone?
Focus on simple, universal topics and observe the situation before going deeper.
Like what kind of topics?
Things like the place, the event, or what's happening around you, because those are shared experiences.
Wow, that feels much easier and safer.
Exactly. And it helps you avoid sounding awkward or disconnected.
So confidence also comes from understanding context?
Exactly.
I'm starting to see the difference now.
That's great, because this awareness changes how you communicate.
So let me ask one final question. What is the most important thing to remember when talking to a stranger for the first time?
The most important thing is to keep it simple. Be aware of the person's context and culture, and understand that even though it's not a rule, this awareness can make a huge difference in making your conversation feel natural and comfortable.
Wow, that really summarizes everything.
And with practice and awareness, your confidence and fluency will grow naturally.
That's very motivating.
Sure, and in the next video, we're going to talk about something really important: the truth about living abroad.
Oh, wow, that sounds interesting.
Yes, because living abroad sounds amazing, but there are things no one tells you.
Now I'm curious.
So just click on the video on your screen and let's keep learning together.
All right, see you there.
See you, and keep practicing.